Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department had to cope with a Malaga structure fire this afternoon that threatened to consume a shop building and nearby parked trailers. A Grant County deputy prosecutor will now have a special role in the U.S. District Court of Eastern Washington. Our beautiful early fall weather continues through the weekend with changes coming our way on Monday. The state is investigating the death of a fruit facility worker inside a controlled atmosphere storage chamber in East Wenatchee. The incident occurred on Sunday when 61-year-old Randy Washit was found unresponsive at the Stemilt growers facility on South Ward Avenue near Pangbourne Airport. Washit was employed by Pace International, which manages the low oxygen controlled atmosphere rooms for Stemilt. That's where fruit is preserved for shipping and marketing. Workers there are required to check the rooms using oxygen meters to see if they're safe before entering. The State Department of Labor and Industries confirmed this week it's investigating that workplace death. Douglas County Coroner Tanner Bateman said autopsy results are yet to come. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department had to cope with a Malaga structure fire this afternoon that threatened to consume a shop building and nearby parked trailers. The fire was reported about 12:30, burning in the 300 block of Herds River Ranch Lane and throwing up smoke and flames that were visible for miles. Fire crews had largely gained control within half an hour of their arrival, but the shop and nearby outbuildings were a total loss. There was no immediate report of injuries this afternoon. Meanwhile, a federal lawsuit accusing Stemilt Ag Services of mismanaging international guest workers has been settled. The class action filed in 2020 represented more than 1,100 workers who were employed by Stemilt under the H-2A visa program, most of them from Mexico and Central America. The case accused Stemilt Ag Services, which hires more than 1,000 orchard workers each year, of routinely threatening them and firing, deportation, and blacklisting if they fell below daily quotas for apple harvests. Terms of the deal have not been disclosed. The case had been scheduled to go to trial in U.S. District Court in Spokane next month. Election season is almost upon us. Ballots go out late next week, and Wenatchee alone will see contested races for mayor, city council, and school board. That's why NCWLIFE is sitting down with candidates from all those campaigns for a series of interviews that starts October 22nd. The conversation with Wenatchee's mayor's candidates airs at 8 a.m. that day, followed by Leavenworth and Chelan mayor candidates at 3 p.m., and then the Wenatchee School Board contenders at 6:30. You can expect those interviews to air daily through November 7th, the last day to turn in your ballot. If you miss one, you can always find it on our website at ncwlife.com or just scan the QR code that you see on your screen. Well, when we come back, Representative Dan Newhouse sent out a letter today demanding an extension on the public comment period for introducing grizzly bears into the Northern Cascade ecosystem. And the popular business magazine Forbes recently released their 5th annual America's Best Employers by State list, and Confluence Health, they're on that list. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi everybody, Dan Coos alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
As Chelan's premier lifestyle store, Willow, find unique home decor, clothing, jewelry, and more. Come visit for a welcoming and memorable shopping experience.
Deepwater Electronics is your one-stop shop for the latest in TV and sound technology. Whether you build your home theater or let them do it for you, Deepwater Electronics is the clear choice.
The switch is on to T-Mobile. Get the best 5G experience and the customer service you depend on. Only at Chelan Wireless in downtown Chelan.
8 different political campaigns, 16 candidates, 3 cities deciding their future. NCWLIFE wants you to be informed when you cast your ballot in this November's election. That's why we're sitting down with candidates across the ballot for mayor, city council, and school board to talk through the issues and help you make the best choice. Look for those interviews right here on this channel starting October 22nd and on our website, ncwlife.com.
Representative Dan Newhouse sent out a letter earlier today demanding an extension on the public comment period for introducing grizzly bears into the Northern Cascade ecosystem. The National Park Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service have issued a proposal to reintroduce grizzly bears to the area with a 45-day period to receive public comment under the Endangered Species Act. Newhouse wrote to the agencies today requesting a 180-day extension, saying he wants to ensure all local communities that will be directly affected that they have the opportunity for public comment. The last confirmed grizzly bear sighting on the U.S. portion of the North Cascades was in 1996. A Grant County deputy prosecutor will now have a special role in the U.S. District Court of Eastern Washington. Carly Biddle has been appointed as a special assistant U.S. attorney in the Office of Federal Prosecutor, and her name is Vanessa Waldriff. She will retain her post in Grant County as well. Biddle plans to specialize in cases involving crimes against children, charging criminal cases in both state and federal courts as well. Waldriff and Grant County Prosecutor Kevin McCrae made the announcement today. Well, the popular business magazine Forbes recently released their 5th annual America's Best Employers by State list, ranking Confluence Health as the 42nd best employer for Washington. Forbes compiled this list in partnership with market research gathered by Statista. That's a company that surveyed over 70,000 people across the nation about their workplace in terms of compensation, diversity, company image, and more. The employers ranking in the top 3 for Washington in order were Google, Apple, and Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories. Confluence says they are honored by the recognition. Well, coming up next in tonight's feature story, we'll tell you how North Central Washington Libraries is continuing to make books accessible through their 2 bookmobiles. Sunny skies and unseasonably warm temperatures through the weekend with weather changes coming next week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
We're turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the year. Right now, during the hot summer clearance sale, only at Click It RV. #1 in sales and service. The best RV brands. Over 1,000 to choose from. And the best deals of the year on remaining 2023 model year-end clearance with incredible 30% off. Brand new RVs discounted up to 30%. Save thousands. Plus, no payments until 2024. During the hot summer clearance sale. Now, only at Click It RV. 5 superstore locations. Hurry in today.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
8 different political campaigns, 16 candidates, 3 cities deciding their future. NCWLIFE wants you to be informed when you cast your ballot in this November's election. That's why we're sitting down with candidates across the ballot for mayor, city council, and school board to talk through the issues and help you make the best choice. Look for those interviews right here on this channel starting October 22nd and on our website, ncwlife.com.
North Central Washington Libraries is continuing to make books accessible through their 2 bookmobiles. In a new partnership with the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activities Center, their South Bookmobile brings the library to folks who may not be able to make it otherwise. The Library on Wheels will make a monthly appearance during the popular lunch hours, and patrons of the Senior Center will be able to browse books, DVDs, and more. In tonight's featured story, NCWLIFE News had a chance to learn more about the partnership and how the bookmobile operates.
The bookmobile was actually one of the things on my list of organizations to call when I started working here this summer. And they actually reached out to us, which was kind of nice, saved me the phone call. But we really want to be sort of a community resource, not just for seniors, but for the community as a whole. But for seniors in particular, we're trying to reach out to organizations within the community to bring their services to the seniors here.
The bookmobile is just like a mobile library. It's a library that we drive down the road, and we choose stops based on population, where there's a need that has a distance from a library location. We have 30 branches and 2 bookmobiles, and we still have pockets in our 5-county system that need a service. So we determine an area that we want to take the bookmobile to, and we bring out a selection of everything that the library carries, basically. So we have adult books, we have large print books, books in Spanish, kids books, young adult books, DVDs, and audiobooks and CDs. We do offer also mail order service with the library, but some people really want to come in and browse and see books and just be able to put their hands on them and look through them before they choose them. And so that gives people in those communities the opportunity to do that. So the Senior Center seemed like a natural partnership for people who are getting out but maybe aren't making it into the library. They're coming here for a lunch, and so it seemed like a natural partnership to bring some books here and give them the opportunity to access library materials somewhere they're already going.
So far it's been really positive. Part of the reason that we had them park here is we're right in front of the entrance, and we have a senior lunch program that where we provide affordable meals to not just seniors but to the community as a whole. Anybody can come. But we have the program on Tuesday through Friday. And I wanted to make sure that the bookmobile was here during that time, because the lunch program is one of our more popular events. Depending on the day, we have as many as 120, 130 people that come in for lunch. So I wanted to make sure that the bookmobile was literally right in their path as they were coming in to have lunch, so they'd have an opportunity to stop in and talk to the staff, check out books, find out about e-services, all the things that the library offers. One of the things that I'm just with my own experience at the library, a lot of people don't realize the extensive services that the library offers, because it's not just going in to check out books. They have a huge online presence of all sorts of services, everything from accessing the New York Times as part of your library membership for free, to language learning programs. Rosetta Stone, for example, is available as a library member. Also, the library has streaming services, so they have as part of your membership at the library, you have a free access to it's not Netflix, but it's like Netflix, but for the library, and ebooks, and just there are a lot of online services that I think people aren't aware of, and particularly in the senior population where they're not as tech savvy. So I think it's great to educate the whole, the population as a whole about those services, but especially seniors who may not realize that those things are available. Dealing with the senior population, not all of the seniors are able to go to the library on a regular basis on their own, but they're coming to the senior center, so this is an opportunity for them to access the library without going to the library. And it's also another activity that we can offer here. So I think it's a really good mutually beneficial relationship for us.
All right, time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast as we head into the upcoming weekend. What a beautiful Friday out there, just a beautiful blue sky. And almost all of us around North Central Washington enjoyed these clear skies. What a great shot looking down at the Wenatchee Valley. And this is going to continue for at least a couple of more days as we will see dry, warm conditions right through the upcoming weekend, both tomorrow and Sunday. We will be flirting with 80 degrees for afternoon high temperatures, and then things change on Monday. A good chance for rain on Monday. We'll continue with the wet weather Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. And yes, it is going to be cooler with high temperatures back to about seasonal, which is low to mid 60s. And we'll talk more about that coming up. But today we did get up for the third day in a row. 79 degrees, just fantastic weather. That's 12 degrees above where we should be for this time of year at 67. Our record 90, and that was set in 2014. Our low this morning, 50 degrees, 45 is where we should be for a low, and 34 is our record, and that was set in 1974. Sunrise 7:07, and sunset now is right at 6:30. All right, let's get you into your weekend. And as I mentioned, things are going to be just beautiful tomorrow. 81 degrees, Moses Lake and Ephrata, also up into Omak, 81. Lots of 80s as well. Quincy, Wenatchee, Chelan, we will see 80 degrees. In most other locations, at least mid to upper 70s. It's going to stay unseasonably warm as we make our way into the weekend tonight. Expect a mild one as well. We are seeing once again a ridge of high pressure that goes well up into British Columbia. Little tiny area of low pressure here, not going to amount to a whole lot. Clear skies tonight with lows in those mid 50s. Getting into Saturday, sunny, and as we talked about, just unseasonably warm. Talking high temperatures for most of us near that 80-degree mark. We're looking at still 90s down in the desert Southwest and even 100 as we get into Sunday. Here's our big storm system as it makes its way into the Pacific Northwest, but not on Sunday. We're going to stay sunny, still warm on Sunday. High temperatures again near that 80-degree mark. And then, yes, that low pressure will make its way, or clouds will make its way into the Pacific Northwest, and a big area of cloudiness and a good chance for showers too. I think this will be late in the day into our evening hours. High temperatures will really cool down, about 70 for the high temperature on Monday. For Tuesday, our area of low pressure moves just a little bit to the north, and that's still going to bring a good area of cloudiness into the Pacific Northwest. A 50% chance of rain for us on Tuesday, and we're going to cool down even a little bit more with highs into the mid 60s, which actually will be about normal for this time of year. On Wednesday, look at all the clouds throughout the Pacific Northwest and over into Montana. 30% chance of rain Wednesday. High temperatures again into those mid 60s, and then things stabilize a little bit by the end of our forecast on Thursday. But we have a double shot of low pressure ready to move in just in time for our next weekend. Enjoy Thursday. Mostly sunny and mild with high temperatures then in the mid 60s. All right, your 7-day forecast. 54 overnight tonight. Look at Saturday and Sunday. Sunny and warm. 80 degrees for a high temperature, 57 even for our low, and that's very warm. And then things change a little bit, well, quite a bit as we get into Monday. A good chance for rain late in the day, 70 degrees. Chance for rain showers will continue Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the mid 60s, and then back to the sunshine on Thursday with high temperatures then at 65 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
8 different political campaigns, 16 candidates, 3 cities deciding their future. NCWLIFE wants you to be informed when you cast your ballot in this November's election. That's why we're sitting down with candidates across the ballot for mayor, city council, and school board to talk through the issues and help you make the best choice. Look for those interviews right here on this channel starting October 22nd and on our website, ncwlife.com.
The prep football weekend got off to an early start in Entiat last night. The Tigers hosted Moses Lake Christian in Central Washington B8 football, with the Lions coming out on top 62-44. Coming up in 11-man football for the Bees today, Okanagan travels to Tonasket while Bridgeport is hosting Soap Lake. Manson visits Lake Roosevelt at 7. Pateros hosts Waterville Mansfield at 7:30. Caribou Trail League play, Chelan hosts a non-league game against Colfax. The other league matchups have Quincy at Omak at 7, while Cashmere visits Cascade for the annual Pear Bowl in Peshastin. CWAC split their schedule over today and tomorrow. Ephrata visits Sela tonight at 7, while Prosser hosts Othello. Grandview entertains East Valley tomorrow at 6. We'll get to Wenatchee and Ellensburg coming up in just a moment. The 4th-ranked Eastmont Wildcats are at home tonight to take on the 4-1 West Valley Rams. Eastmont improved to 5-0 last week with a come-from-behind win over Sunnyside 28-21. Coach Michael Don says the comeback showed him something about his team.
Yeah, no, they got after us early. We really struggled early. We had a punt return for a touchdown, and offensively we struggled to get going early in the first few drives. And Sunnyside jumped on us 14-0, and it was a tough start, but it was good. We saw resolve in our kids. We hadn't trailed like that all year. It was kind of a different dynamic for us, so it's sometimes good to get those games and to be able to settle back in and get it done. And luckily, we did enough to come out with the win.
Senior linebacker Chris Nevers splits time between football, playing trumpet in the band, and being the ASB president. He says Eastmont's comeback win says the Cats can do much more.
It's a little less pep talk and a lot more like, here's where you messed up, here's what we got to do, this play's not working, this play's not working.
Okay, so X's and O's.
Yeah, X's and O's. Shout out to Coachy. He's one of the new coaches this year. He gave a really good pep talk at halftime. He kind of got the guys fired up, which was nice to see.
Bouncing back like that, what does that say to you about this club?
It says that we're 5-0 right now, but we have the ability to go 10-0. I mean, Sunnyside's not a bad football team. They're probably the best team we played this year. And to start 0-14 and then end up winning that game, that says a lot about the guys on the field and what they can do. And, we have the possibility to go undefeated this season, and that's what we're working for right now.
West Valley is 4-1 on the season, and Coach Don says their defense is what stands out most about the Rams.
Well, they've struggled a little bit offensively. They only average about 200 yards a game, but they're going to kind of go back and forth between the spread and they run some I formation stuff, but they're a little bit different from last year, where they had you got a Division I signal caller, and he's got his Division I wide receiver with him. They're both at Utah Tech, and they're just trying to figure out who they are right now. But they're 4-1 because they play great defense. Nobody's really scoring a lot of points on them. They've only given up more than 14 once all year. Pitched 2 shutouts already, and they're a physical, tough team on defense. So I think it'll really come down to whether we perform offensively this week.
Join Grant Olson and Paul Collard with our pregame tonight here on the NCWLIFE channel beginning at 6:30 from Wildcat Stadium. Wenatchee, meanwhile, has a non-league game tonight on the road at Ellensburg. The Panthers led 3rd-ranked Moses Lake in the first half last week before falling 35-14. Coach Scott Devereaux says it showed for at least a half that the Wenatchee Panthers can play with anyone.
I was really impressed the way we came out and just started swinging. Our kids weren't nervous, weren't really afraid. We knew we could compete with these guys, and we got some things clicking early. Unfortunately, the second half didn't go quite the same way.
So was that halftime adjustments? Was that getting gassed? I mean, to try to chase that quarterback around, all night long is kind of a tough challenge.
Yeah, that we just couldn't get him off the field. And I think one play that was big was the fake punt. That drive was a long drive, took the wind out of us quite a bit. We knew it was coming. We stopped him going the way he wanted to go, and then our backside over-pursued a little bit, and that guy's got some great speed and made us pay the price. And that was a big turning point in the game. I think otherwise we're getting the ball, and we got a chance to go down and score and make things really interesting.
Senior defensive end and tight end Ethan Wirtz says he hopes they can take lessons learned against Moses Lake into tonight's game in Ellensburg.
I think that as a team, and me individually as well, we all thought that we played phenomenal, especially at the beginning. We were neck and neck all the way through the first half of the game, we felt like. And I think it showed us that we're capable of a lot more than we've showed ourselves in past years and the beginning of this year. I feel like now we know what we're capable of, and we have a lot to work forward to, and we have a lot to look forward to this game and the rest of our season. I think for me, we all know I'm not the biggest defensive lineman, and they do have some big guys. They have some tall guys, wider guys. I think as a group, we need to entrust what we've been doing in the weight room, how aggressive we are, and we need to keep that up. And I think if we just play with our hearts, we should be good. We have a lot of speed up front, which I think will be great with that, and a lot of reading the screen and everything. So I think as long as we stick to our keys and our cues and play our hearts out, we should be good.
Ellensburg is 2-3 on the season so far, and Coach Devereaux says they pose quite a challenge with their physical makeup on the line.
You look at Ellensburg's size, they're giant. You know, for a little bit smaller school, they have a 6'5", 315-pound tackle. They got another 280-pound guy. I mean, they're super big up front. They got a running back who runs a 10-7 100-meter dash. That's, you know, a full second faster than anybody we have. They can make some plays. You know, they lost some games early in the year. They played Prosser 7-0 last week, and Prosser's usually a pretty good program. So it's definitely a team we can't just sit back and think, oh, yeah, you know, a small school, we can go beat them. It's going to be their homecoming, and they're going to be fired up. So we have to get off the bus ready to play.
Wenatchee kicks off at Ellensburg at 7 o'clock. Other Big Nine play tonight. Moses Lake hosts Davis, while Sunnyside plays at Eisenhower. Wenatchee continued its unbeaten streak in Big Nine volleyball last night. The Panthers visited Eastmont, came away with a 3-set sweep, 25-13, 23, and 15. Wenatchee has yet to lose a set in league play this season. Moses Lake defended its home court with a 3-1 win over Eisenhower. Ellensburg swept Ephrata 25-22, 14, and 17. Chelan swept Omak, and Kashmir down Quincy 3-0. On the Les Schwab Prep Volleyball scoreboard for the smaller schools, Okanagan swept Lake Roosevelt. Brewster edged Liberty Bell 3-2. Manson took 3 from Oroville. Tonasket topped Bridgeport 3-0. Moses Lake Christian down Easton in 3 sets, and Soap Lake swept Pateras in 3. Waterville Mansfield plays at Pateras tonight. Tomorrow, the Shockers visit Easton at 11 a.m., while Cascade hosts Cle Elum. Oroville has a noon match at Republic. Eastmont has a non-leaguer tomorrow at home against Monroe. That starts at 1 o'clock. Manson plays at LeConner tomorrow afternoon at 2. Here's the Les Schwab Prep girls soccer scoreboard from Thursday. Sela edged Ephrata 3-2 in a shootout to win it 2-1. Chelan shut out Omak 1-0. Kashmir topped Quincy 1-0. Tonasket beat Pateras 6-0. Brewster blasted Oroville 8-1. Okanagan mauled Manson 10-0. Liberty Bell beat Bridgeport by a final of 4-1. On the schedule for tomorrow, Quincy hosts Kiona Benton at 11 a.m., while Tonasket travels to Davenport. Ephrata hosts Othello at noon. Wenatchee visits Eastmont at 1, while Moses Lake hosts Eisenhower. Liberty Bell plays at Cascade at 2:30. Speaking of soccer, we'll be out at Wildcat Stadium again tomorrow for the rematch between Eastmont and Wenatchee. The Wildcats came from behind with 2 second-half goals the first time they met in the Apple Bowl for a 2-1 win. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen will have the call, and our pregame beginning a little before 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon right here on the NCWLIFE channel. The Wenatchee Wild continue their longest road trip of the Western Hockey League season this weekend. Wenatchee begins the first of 2 games against Prince George tonight on the road at 7 tonight. It'll be 6 tomorrow. And then Wenatchee stops at Kamloops Sunday for another game at 4 o'clock. You can hear the action locally with our friend Austin Drade on 560 KPQ. Let's run down some sports on TV for your viewing pleasure this weekend. Washington State plays at UCLA in the Rose Bowl tomorrow at noon. That game's on the Pac-12 network. Central Washington plays at home against Eastern New Mexico at 6 o'clock. Washington and Eastern Washington both have byes this weekend. Major League Baseball enters the division round with 4 games on the slate for tomorrow. Baltimore hosts Texas at 11:03 a.m. on FS1. That's followed by at 1:45 between Minnesota and Houston from Minute Maid Park. The afternoon belongs to the National League with Atlanta hosting Philadelphia at 3:07 on TBS. That'll be followed at 6:30 by Arizona and the Dodgers. Seahawks have a bye this weekend, but the rest of the NFC will be in action Sunday. Arizona hosts Cincinnati at 1:05 on Fox, while most viewers will see the Eagles and Rams in Los Angeles. The most watched game of the weekend probably happening Sunday night when San Francisco hosts Dallas on Sunday Night Football on NBC. That kicks off at 5:20. That's a look at sports. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Friday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great weekend.